Welcome to GripeCast with your host, Alex Hernandez. This show is dedicated to consumer technology news and pop culture. GripeCast is owned by Techaeris. Visit Techaeris.com for the latest tech reviews, news, entertainment, and pop culture. Now sit tight, the show's about to begin.
In your life.
All right, welcome to the least listened to podcast on the internet. This is GripeCast, episode 41, and 2 episodes in a row is pretty impressive, I gotta say. Actually, I don't have any tech videos to make this week, so I decided we're gonna do another podcast. And the reason I decided this is because Google is melting down. Now, my thumbnail and my title, Google's begging for its life, is a little hyperbolic. I understand. But I had to do it. It was just this is too good to not make a title like that. So we're going to get into this couple of things with Google, and it all revolves around Chrome right now, and we'll talk about that in just a second. What I did want to do before I started, I'm going to jump into this as quick as possible because this is great. This is awesome news. Please hit the links down below. Merch, t-shirts for Techaeris, t-shirts for GripeCast, and make sure that you're checking out Techaeris.com, which I'm on right now. That's what pays my bills, and I appreciate you guys taking time to visit the site. And, my content's coming out a little bit slower than usual. I've got a lot on my plate, doing doing podcasting now, doing more tech videos, so the actual articles and reviews are not coming out as quickly as I used to do them because that's what I used to do all the time. So I pivoted to doing this kind of stuff, so my time is stretched. At any rate, please support the channel, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the things everybody asks you to do that we always ask you to do. I appreciate it 100%. Let's jump into this. Google Chrome, first thing on the chopping block in the DOJ case. I'm just going to read my article here, and then we're going to jump into Google's response because it is gold. So the United States Department of Justice is planning to ask the judge in its case to force parent company Alphabet to sell Google Chrome. The government's case against Google that we reported on last month has taken a quick turn already. Lawyers for the United States Department of Justice are already making moves and requesting actions against Google's parent company, Alphabet. Google Chrome has an interesting history, and that history has made it the most used web browser on the planet. Back in the early days, Google Chrome was trying to unseat Internet Explorer to become the main show in town, and it eventually did. Google did this through a concentrated campaign of marketing and organic user testimonials. Back in those days, it was difficult to argue that Google Chrome wasn't better because it just was. Now, with Google firmly controlling search and browsers, the need to make things the best for its users has faded, and the need to profit is in play. I'm speculating that DOJ is targeting Google Chrome because of its heavy integration with Google Search. The judge in this case did rule that the company is a monopoly in the search market, and taking down Chrome would be a major victory for the DOJ. So this quote is from Reuters. Reuters says, Google controls how people view the internet and what ads they see in part through its Chrome browser, which typically uses Google Search. It gathers information important to Google's ad business and is estimated to have 2/3 of the global browser market. The DOJ declined to comment. Google, in a statement from Leanne Mulholland, Vice President, Google Regulatory Affairs, said the DOJ is pushing a radical agenda that goes far beyond the legal issues in this case and would harm consumers. Google, this is my words now, Google didn't take too kindly to the initial ruling, and now they're not pleased with the DOJ going after one of its largest properties that gives them a lot of leverage over search. Quote, this is a quote from BBC. Quote, the DOJ continues to push a radical agenda that goes far beyond legal actions in this case, said Google executive Leanne Mulholland in a statement. That's just a repetitive spot. Things just got hotter in the Google offices, and will be interesting case. This will be an interesting case going forward, especially if the judge grants the DOJ's request. So, that's big news. Google Chrome is one of the bigger vehicles, one of the bigger things that Google uses to push their search engine and to push their ad platforms. And they responded. And they responded in their blog, but they also posted to X. And we'll actually click over to their blog. I'm not going to read their entire blog. I will link all this below, so that you can read it for yourselves. But the title of the blog is DOJ's staggering proposal would hurt consumers in America's global technological leadership. And okay, it's not that long actually. So they say, as part of its lawsuit over how we distribute search, the U.S. Department of Justice tonight filed a staggering proposal that seeks dramatic changes to Google services. DOJ had a chance to propose remedies related to the issue in this case, search distribution agreements with Apple, Mozilla, smartphone OEMs, and wireless carriers. Instead, DOJ chose to push a radical interventionist agenda that would harm Americans and America's global technology leadership. DOJ's wildly overboard proposals goes miles beyond the court's decision. It would break a range of Google products even beyond search that people love and find helpful in their everyday lives. The extreme proposal would endanger the security and privacy of millions of Americans and undermine the quality of products people love by forcing the sale of Chrome and potentially Android. Requires disclosure to the next point is requires disclosure to unknown foreign and domestic companies, not just Google innovations and results, but even more troubling, Americans' personal search queries. Which, oh man, I'm going to read through the comments on X because that's, I think, is going to be a better way for even for myself to communicate what I'm feeling, because there's some really good comments there. The next point they make is chill our investment in artificial intelligence, perhaps the most important innovation of our time, where Google plays a leading role. The next point is hurt innovation services like Mozilla's Firefox, whose business depends on charging Google for search placement. The next point is deliberately hobble people's ability to access Google search. And finally, mandate government micromanagement of Google search and other technologies by appointing a technical committee with enormous power over your online experience. And their first post that they made on X says DOJ's approach would hurt American consumers, developers, and small businesses and jeopardize America's global economic and technological leadership when it's needed most. It would break a range of Google products even beyond search that people love. The first comment on top is Giselle Navarro, and she's really great, from housefresh.com. She says, this is rich considering the state of Google search results, and she gives a graph here that you guys can click into. I will link all of these threads down in the description below so you can, go through it yourself and read it yourself, and maybe even comment if you have a comment. Please comment on the video and on the podcast, wherever you're listening. And tell us what you think. Nate Hawk says, what jeopardizes America's economical and technological leadership is your ongoing destruction of the open web. The open web equal freedom. Google equal fascism. Duke Tabor says the legal, and this is his words now. I said says, but his first word is says. So he says the legal monopoly that disseminated thousands of small businesses and individuals with their HCU update. Rock Action says, no one has hurt small businesses and caused incidental job loss at scale more than you in the past year. You've chosen greed and corporate favoritism over a fair and sustainable ecosystem, and the only solution is to introduce competition. DOJ, we praise your efforts. And we're going to move on here. This guy with his GIF. Daniel Hart says, maybe link your worldview to reality. After thousands of businesses you've destroyed, what sympathy are you expecting here? And then some of these, forgive me if you are watching or listening to this podcast and I read your comment from X on here and I don't get your name correct. My apologies. But I think this is Multi-Landwear. Says, so you confirm that not owning Chrome and not being to the only search engine with access to data gathered by Chrome would significantly impact how Google search works? Matt Gibbs just says you suck. Well done, Matt. Give him art. Carlos Gonzalez says, unfortunately, you broke the internet with HCU. And if you're not familiar with HCU is one of the Google updates that has severely hurt small publishers, and it stands for Helpful Content Update. And basically, what they say was their attempt to help their users, help search users have a better experience, got out of hand. They were trying to clean up certain websites that were abusing the search algorithm, and a lot of small publishers that have done no wrong, like including us, got caught up in that, and they don't know how to fix it, and they don't admit any fault either. Okay, and Crypto DBS says no, that will actually only hurt you. You were the one in the first place hurting consumers, developers, small businesses, and creators. VPN Compare says, translated, it would hurt Google profits. # you're welcome. Very, very true. Bow-tied white bat and red read pinned tweet says, go to hell, Google. You destroyed thousands of blog and gaslighter people saying it's all about content quality. Hope you all perish soon. All right. Xavier Lara says, you have destroyed the livelihood of thousands of small businesses owners in the past 2 years with your HCU classifier on search. Imagine if you never did that. With every single publisher would be on your side. But now most small and medium publishers would gladly see Google burn. I agree. Ruben Alonso says, thanks. I've passed it on to the team and look at. Excuse me. Ruben says, thanks. I've passed it on to the team to look at more. That's kind of a running joke with Danny Sullivan, who is the search liaison, and that's kind of his boilerplate response. So yeah. The Clendathau Cap says, don't care, stop censoring. There's somebody I think that is probably on Google's side, but I won't read him. Jota says, you deserve it. Michael Foley says, breaking up Google is very necessary. Okay. We're just going. These are the first time I'm reading. This is the furthest down I've gotten on comments, so I'm reading them with you. Just kind of going through and see. Semantic Entity says, "Won't somebody please think of the children?" A GIF that you put on there. Magazine says, "Google is to blame for this woke propaganda on kids and women." Lisa Bedford says, "What reality do you live in? People hate Google search." Carbophony. I don't want to click on that picture. Don't do evil, otherwise suffer. That's a quote. Quote, don't do evil, and then unquote, otherwise suffer. Martin McGarry says, Yo G, there are other people in the world apart from Americans. Okay, and then he just asked for a response from Google. Simone Semprini says, people don't love Google products. There's simply no choice. Being the largest monopoly in history, if you weren't so greedy, you would have enjoyed your monopoly for longer. Now everyone is supporting the DOJ. That's a very good point. And that's something that I talked about with someone else is, like currently the big thing right now is X, right? Like everybody's like loving Elon, and we want the X phone, and we want X mail, and we want X docs, and we want X this and X here. and they want Elon to build this whole new ecosystem to compete with Google and Apple. But here's the thing, guys. Elon's not your friend. Look what Google is a great example of this. Google was well loved. Google, people enjoyed their products. They liked getting the free stuff, and that was the main thing. The free docs, the free mail, the free this and the free that. But what did we give up? We gave up our privacy, we gave up our data. And now we're here in this situation. What's going to stop Elon from doing the same thing? What's going to stop X from doing the same thing? What's going to stop Elon from selling X? And then the next person doing whatever they want to do with it. So, it makes no sense to me, these people that simp for Elon. And I've said that, I said this in my last podcast. I don't dislike Elon, okay? I don't. I like the guy. But I don't agree with him in everything. And damned if I'm going to be putting all my eggs in one basket under one corporation. I'm just not that type of person. But unfortunately, most people are. Most people are going to throw all their weight into one thing. This one guy agrees with some of what I believe, so I'm going to support all of that. But you're going to get burned. This is what's happening with Google right now is evidence of that. You're going to get burned if you think that Elon has your back from now until eternity. It's not going to happen. One way or another, he'll screw you. And that's just the way it is. It's business, okay? And unfortunately, Google is feeling the hate now. The people are finally waking up. They've had enough. It's like, okay, how many years have I had a Google account? How long have I been with Google? And they have, and they're doing this to me now, and they're doing this now, and people are pissed off, and rightfully so. All right, where did I leave off here? Interesting Patent says, what a joke. Google that was stealing creators' content for decades, illegally spying on users, killing hundreds of projects actually valuable for users, all to maximize their corporate profit. Google was a great company in the don't be evil times, but it's not true for a decade. Go DOJ. Alex S. says, now I just lost it. Let's see if I can find Alex S. There he is. I wanted to give Interesting Patents a heart there. Alex S. says, screw you, Google. Your monopoly, your propaganda, your manipulation, your greed, your bias, and your expletive ad-ridden products. Okay. Vlad says, hurt small businesses? You destroyed them already. Read the room. The DOJ's approach is the best thing in the open web. Break Google products. Fix them? Oh, wait, you can't even fix your search. GTFO. Duco says, Google's crying because they want to keep their monopoly is priceless. Quote, hurt innovation services like Mozilla's Firefox? That level of hypocrisy and gaslighting is crazy. Mozilla won't depend on your paycheck if they get just 10 or 20% of the browser market. Go DOJ. I'm no fan of the DOJ either, but in this case, you got to pick a side, right? And I think most people are picking a side. Darth Autocrat, Linden NA, says, but it's fine for you to, 1, kill hundreds and thousands of businesses through your mistakes, favor big entities pushing SMBs down the SERPs in preference to spam content that you've been told about for 5+ years. Suck it up, Buttercup, because karma's taking a run-up. Jason Jones says, hurt small businesses? Did you not kill the small publisher and blog industry in September 2023? Come on, you have to be found guilty of being a monopoly and expect to be given compassion for it and the right to control the whole web ecosystem. Excuse me. Chandan Singh. I think that's Chandan. Again, apologies to anybody whose name I have mispronounced. A year ago, you destroyed small publishers for your own profit. Now the Justice Department has taken the right step to curb you. You're an illegal monopoly. Believe me, dismantling Google will bring immense relief to consumers, competitors, developers, and small publishers. Yes. Agree. Yeah. Dimitro says a little bit of fair competition wouldn't hurt the industry too much. Maybe you'll start actually improving your products and think about users instead of milking the market as a monopoly. All right. They made another comment, though. That was the one they made 13 hours ago, right? Yep. Okay. And then they posted again. I think they're just taking bits out of their blog post. So I'm not going to read their comment because I'll link to the blog post. You guys can read that, but I'll read some more of these comments that users have put in. Let's see what Nate Hawk says here. He says he's tagging the antitrust division of the Justice Department. Says, hey, Justice Antitrust Division. This is why opt-out is a joke of a remedy. Google just keeps coming. Oh, so he's commenting on Barry Schwartz's post about how the new Google iOS app page annotation injects links from your website to Google search results. Here's how to opt out. So this is a new feature, and this is what Google is making this an opt-out option. So it's like you're opted in no matter what. You have to opt out in order to not have this happen, and that's what Nate Hakey, I think I said Hawk for a minute ago, but I think it's Hakey. But Nate says, hey, Justice Department, this is why opt-out is a joke of a remedy. Google just keeps coming up with new ways to steal publishers' traffic and then hiding behind some new opt-out mechanism to justify it. This opt-out requires up to 30 days to take effect, meaning Google gets to literally steal clicks for a full month, and there's nothing we can do. We shouldn't have to be playing whack-a-mole like this. Google is the copyright infringer. They should be required to obtain consent. Amend your filing to ask for opt-in. You screwed it up on that part. All right, where did I go? Okay, here. Okay, and then we talked about the Parzival stuff here. You can check your labels here, step-by-step guide. That's something totally different. Where are we at? Did I miss it? Where's my? There it is. Okay, I backed out of it. My bad. Get back in there. All right. Katie Berry. Katie Berry, a very nice person that I interact with on X. Hi, Katie. She says, and as well as Nate and some of the others that I've read, and Darth Autocrat I've also interacted with. There's a few people here that have commented that I have interacted with on X. Hi, guys. Thanks for listening, and please share. Katie says, you abused your power and scraped our private data for profit. Then you unleashed flawed algorithms that wiped out small publishers in favor of sites like Forbes. You brought this on yourselves. Do you think we'd rather avoid 2 clicks than privacy intrusions and going broke? And Simone, I don't know if that's Simone or Simon. I apologize, but consider that you've possibly had a good run already, and that you should apply what you've learned to another project. And Darth Autocrat says, because you don't exert any sort of influence, right? That's a question. Let me rephrase that so I can. For those listening and not watching, he starts his comment with a question. He says, because you don't exert any sort of influence, right? And then he comments, an independent, unregulated corporation that holds influence across billions of users, impacting millions of businesses with influence across multiple groups and sectors, including standards, sites, ads, etc. Oh, I got to give these guys hearts. Christine says, you want people to care when you have cared so little about other people. Amen, sister. Saget says, I'm not a fan of that. Regulatory should not make product decisions. This person doesn't understand what's happening. They killed Peanut. Conscious AI says they killed Peanut. Now Google, absolute overreach. Funny. Kevin, the email copywriter, says, at this point, nothing is more extreme than your HCU and further updates that destroyed small businesses overnight. Nothing is extreme than your illegal monopoly. Nothing is extreme than your ignorance of your garbage results and the gaslighting. Can't wait until you get it. Rock Action says, you made your bed, lie in it. Let's see, Blaine Smith says, you wiped out websites built over decades. You destroyed the livelihoods of thousands, and you shrug it off like it's nothing. You steal content to fuel your AI without permission, without compensation. You want these same people to come to your aid, to fight your case? Read the room. 100% Blaine. 100%. 10, 13, 11 and a half years. Going on 12 years for me. Building something. Building and writing and working and investing tens of thousands of dollars into a business, and overnight they change their algorithm, and not only do they take traffic, but they take content, all the content that I created, scraped it and used it for their AI. 100%. These are my people here. All right, where did I leave off here? Blaine. There's Blaine. Thanks, Blaine. Thank you, everybody that comment on these. This is, I really appreciate the community. I'm not super active online. I'm kind of a quiet guy, to be honest with you. I'm kind of a very private guy. The only reason I'm doing podcasts now, and the only reason I'm doing more videos, is because of Google and the fact that that they hurt our traffic, and I have to pivot and do something different. And now I have to put myself out there with this. This is not a comfortable thing for me to do. It's not second nature for me. There's people out there that do this thing all the time, and it comes second nature to them. It's something I have to work at. There's fears I have to get over, and there's things that I have to do in order to record these things and to manage these things. It's a new world for me. So in some ways, I thank Google for that, because it's getting me out of my shell, I guess. But yeah, I don't thank them for what they've done to small publishers. They've done a lot of harm. So Claire Farnworth says, so sad for the $2 trillion corporation who has destroyed the open web and tens of thousands of jobs and stolen from countless others to train their AI slop. Oh, you poor thing, playing a small violin. Very good, Claire. Very good comment. Let's see here. We're going to move on down. There's so many good comments here, and I'm sorry if I didn't read yours, but I'm going to put my mouse over this one. Well, you know what? I won't say the word, but buycryptocurrency.com says, go F yourselves. So there you are. I don't typically curse, especially that word, but let's see. And then Chandan Singh, we read one of his comments earlier. It was a good comment, but let's see if we can find out. And then they did comment again. Excuse me. They did post again a little bit ago. And let's see what they had to do here. All right. Let's see. We're not, again, I'm not going to read the post because they're just quoting out of their blog post. Oh, yeah, Jeremy Knopf says, just make better content. So that was a big thing. That was a big thing where somebody, and the same thing happens on X. There's some X employees that post, and I'm not going to call names out, but there's one particular one who says, just make better content to get more impressions. Well, you're full of crap, dude. Very condescending, very full of himself, and very narcissistic. And stop following him. I've muted him. So, but it's the same way with Google here. Just make better content is what they're saying, and they have no clue. They're clueless, and quit. Our response is going to be quit screwing around with the algorithm, and quit trying to take the bigger slice of the pie for yourself. So at any rate, that's what that comment's about. Just make better content. Let's see, where else? Here we go. Freedom Matters says Google seems to manipulate, everybody needs an editor here, I think. I'll try to read this. Google seems to manipulate search results, definitions of words, etc., to fit an agenda. So I doubt that is the case. More options for people is always a good thing. I'm not sure what the results of this would be exactly, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Let's see here. So Mary Cathill says, founder of Be Right Back by Mary, says small businesses don't support you. You destroy them. Stop misleading people by saying they do. Also, just improve your service and diversify. It's easy. Masab Farouk says, WTF, 3 blog posts in a single day? Come on, Google, just stop playing the victim. You destroyed so many businesses. Karma is a B. I know, but you gotta accept it. This was inevitable. It was bound to happen the moment you decided to prefer those bucks over quality. Kingsley. I am not even going to try to pronounce that last name, Kingsley, but Kingsley has a good comment. He says, at least they gave you a solution to your problem. You gave us no solution when you turned me into a beggar, made thousands jobless, and destroyed so many families with your HCU. Thank you. Yes, destroyed so many families with your HCU right there. That's what pissed... Oh, that's what ticks me off. Because, listen, this is how I support my family. What I do, this is my job, okay? And I've done it for a long time, and this is how I support my family. And this year has been really rough. And I don't like playing the victim. I don't want to be a beggar, like Kingsley says. It's something that I've tried hard not to do. But you got to know that, this is work. And whether a lot of people out there think doing what we do is just easy. It's just you're sitting on your ass doing nothing. But it's not true. There's a lot of work involved and a lot of hard work and a lot of investment involved in creating your own website and doing this kind of content creation. And Google was able to tear down 11 and a half years of hard work overnight. And that is frustrating and disheartening and difficult. And right now we're crawling along. I'm crawling along, and I'm determined to make this work, and I'm determined to pivot and continue on and not stop because screw Google. I am not going to turn over and die just because the big bad Google pulled the rug out from underneath me. No, I got to fight. And that's what we're doing. And that's what a lot of small publishers are doing. I appreciate a lot of these people on these threads. I called a few of them out already. There's, let's see, I have another, obviously there's Nate. There's, let's see. Oh man, now names are all escaping me. But anyway, you guys know who you are on X. Josh is one of them. And Giselle and Katie, and Morgan. A lot of these people, most of you maybe don't even know me, but thank you for those who have stood up for small publishers. Thanks for speaking your mind. Thanks for being a voice. And this is what I'm doing here. I'm hoping is just can be added to that in some small way. Again, I'm the least listened to podcast on the internet. So I'm not reaching a immensely million viewership audience, but to the people that do listen to my podcast, the most intelligent podcast audience on the internet. At least they know now. At least they know what's happening, not only with us, but so many other small publishers, so many other publishers that are being shut down because they can't afford to continue, and it's difficult and it's hard. Google has literally, like that other commenter said, has destroyed families, has destroyed whole websites in a matter of months, and it's disheartening and it's frustrating, and I don't feel sorry for Google at this point. So yeah, I think with this blog post, my thumbnail and my title is spot on. Google is out here begging for its life. And it's not begging the DOJ, it's begging you, it's begging me to come to their aid, to back them up, to stand for Google. But you know what? It's time to stand for yourselves. It's time to to stop being a sheep and just cut it. Cut them out of your life. Tell them no. You guys are they provide services. They've done some cool things. I don't deny that, but a lot of the things they've done despite other people. So they've done these things and they've hurt people in the process, and they've stolen from people in the process, and they need to answer for that. And if they don't want to answer on their own, and if they don't want to own up to it on their own, if they don't want to take responsibility for it on their own, if they don't want to stand up and say, yeah, we were wrong, we apologize, we're going to fix this because we want to work with you, because that's what we've always done, we are the do no evil company, then, maybe we can talk. But there's none of that here. There is none of that from Google. It's a faceless corporation now, and they're in it for their money, and that's it. So that's it. I think I'm done. This is probably one of my longer podcasts, so I don't want to go over too much longer. But, thanks for listening. If you're new here and you've listened to this entire podcast, I highly appreciate it. And, of course, I appreciate my regular listeners. And please support small publishers on the web. Right now, the big thing is video and podcasts. People tend to gravitate toward that stuff, but there is still a world out there of written word. There's still a world out there of written reviews, which is what I do. And that is still a vibrant and much needed world. And AI is incapable of writing a review. Whether it's, for this mouse here, I see the camera, this is not a brand new mouse, but if it was a brand new mouse from Alienware, let's say that they came out with a brand new mouse. When all of the reviewers that are writing reviews on this mouse are gone because Google has destroyed their writing and destroyed their websites, is AI going to do a review of this? How does AI use this to tell humans, other people, about this mouse, about its features, the DPI, everything else, other than scraping information from the website of the brand? If there's nobody writing about this other than the brand, then you're only going to get information that's provided to Google's AI by the brand. So there's no objective reviews. There's nobody no longer taking time to take a look at these products and test them and use them and tell you, hey, this is a really good product, or hey, this is not a very good product, or hey, this is a great product. It just has a couple of these issues. You may like this, or you may not like this, or hey, this feature's good for this, or the feature's not good for this, or you may actually like this other product because it may have this other feature. Whatever. AI can't do that. Machines can't do that. So Google has destroyed small publishers, and right now, I don't give a rat's ass that the DOJ wants to break them up. Break them up. Just get it done. Thanks for listening, guys. Please like, share, comment below, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Subscribe to the podcast, please. Even if I grow this podcast to 1 million, 2 million, 50 million listeners, who knows? I'm still going to be the least listened to podcast on the internet because I love that line. So like, share, comment, hit the notification bell, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Rumble. We're on Substack. That's where I host my podcast, but we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, all the major podcast platforms. Hit the links below to see my website. And please share the website. With Google's search algorithms so bad, it's great to have some other people just share out organically. Also, I have my merch down below, GripeCast t-shirts and Techaeris t-shirts. Please do me a favor, just order a shirt. We have sales every once in a while there. And it would be great not only for a little bit of revenue kicked my way, but also just for some marketing purposes. You guys wear those shirts out. People ask you, hey, what's GripeCast? Or hey, what's Techaeris? And you can tell them, hey, that is an independent publisher. That is an independent voice. That is someone that is working hard to bring tech news and tech reviews and geek entertainment and opinions to the open web. So, hey, appreciate you guys. Please take care of each other. Be kind to each other. And we will talk to you on the other side.